Okay, action. This is the washing of the Hertz for the muscle car and Corvette Nationals coming up November 20th, 23rd. If I'm not mistaken. I already did the pre-soak on the car, so no worries there. Catching a little bit midstream on the video. As usual, I start with the top and work my way down. I have a McGuire's car soap, specialty soap, not like dishwashing soap. Never want to use dishwashing soap. My understanding is it dries out the paint, and that is a big no-no. So we just get it soaked down from the top down as usual. It's always fun and therapeutic. Very gently rubbing. Shouldn't be rubbing at all, but how are you going to get the dirt off? Very mild dirt on this car. It doesn't see a lot of filth road grime that I know of. So just gently wiping back and forth. You get all the corners, just ever so light rubbing. Just to get any of the light dust and road dirt off. Then you get the windshield, of course. And I can see it's beating fairly nicely because I got a nice coat of Rain-X on it from prior drives. So the beating's working fairly good. Plenty of overhead planes, of course. Sides here. And we'll do a little rinse down from the top. Just simple spray. Soap off. It's looking good. Looking very good. And I also put some Rain-X on the rear backlight. And you can see it's beating. The water's coming off fairly nicely on it. I don't think it's any harm to Rain-X all the windows on a car, as a matter of fact, not just the windshield. Look at that water bead. Over here. Move over to the other side. Soap off. Move the camera over the front. Here we go. The frontal view. There you are. I put this towel on here just to keep water from going in the cowl. I mean, there are known to leak there over a long period of time. The seals eventually dry out, I suppose, and allows water infiltration. I really haven't had that problem, but I still don't want water in there because I don't want any dampness or wetness sitting there for any period of time because, well, you know, rust. Let's get the corners here. The rest of that I can just gently wash a little more gingerly, keep the water out. Get that hood. Not that dirty, but my philosophy is always to clean it and wash it before you put a coat of wax on, which I'm sure is pretty much everyone's philosophy. You don't want to put wax over dirt. stripes. This car didn't originally have gold stripes on it, Le Mans stripes. It just had the GT350H side stripes. The red ones, I don't believe any of them were from the factory with any overhead stripes, Le Mans stripes, but the car kind of looks vacant without them, so I had them put on. It's always a modification. Somebody can change back to original. Once I'm gone, hopefully I'll have this car till death do us part. Nothing's guaranteed, but that's my intent as I stand here today. Bumper here, edges. Okay, let's do a quick rinse here. She's singing for this bath, enjoying the bath. And you can see how the water beads on the windshield. That's Rain-X for you. Not that I'm getting any kind of a promotion for Rain-X, I'm not, let me assure you, but it's a product I like to use, therefore it's a product I will mention. If they derive any kind of benefit from it, so be it, I don't care. I like to hose from the back to the front. I don't want water going into the intake there because it'll soak your engine, so it's better from the back to the front. Fairly common sense. And we'll reposition the camera here. I'm trying to get different angles so I don't have more than one camera, so because it's a low budget production, I just have to move it. A lock off shot. Maybe we'll move it over here on a 45 so you can see the car from a 45-degree angle. Let's take a look. That should cover it. Now I'm going along the sides here. Fenders. Side window here. Side window. We'll get the lower part here, but I like, as I said before on prior videos, I like to go from the top and then use the lower half as the last part of the washing. So just get the upper half of the side. Air brake scoop here. Along here. Rinse. I'm also careful not to get water in the channels here because it's not necessarily the best rubber seal above. I don't want water infiltration in the car, so I'm very cognizant of making sure that doesn't happen. Okay, now we can go for the lower section. And the water's pretty clean, so this car really was not that dirty. It wasn't that dirty at all. Rinse this off here though, and make sure I don't get any dirt on the other side when I get to the other side. Once again, I'm careful not to inject water into the brake scoop, so if it's a little dirty in there, I'll clean it out with a damp cloth rather than spray water in there, because there is a hole there that leads through a vent that goes over the rear tire. I want to keep water out of that as much as I can. Okay. Ready for the other side. And moving the camera over. I suppose with so-called Hollywood magic, I could always splice this all together. Eliminate my commentary. But why not keep it live in real time? Real time here. And here's a bullet mirror, known for these kinds of cars, the chrome bullet mirror. I believe the original bullet mirror has a JAX in the mirror. I have an original, but this isn't the original. Original's in a box where it's nice and safe, so this one gets tarnished over the years. I don't worry so much. The original stays in good shape. So it's JAX that's stenciled into the mirror at one point. It's on the periphery of the mirror, but it's in the glass, so correct me if I'm wrong. I know there are people out there that will, but I'm pretty sure it's JAX. The water's beating pretty good, so the wax that was on this car from last year has held up pretty well over the last year. And now to the bottom section. Just rinse this. The water is still very clean. There's really no indication of any dirt. Believe me, you know if your car is dirty. You look at the wash water after you've done washing the car. That's the telltale sign that it needed a bath. But this one's not too bad this time. It's pretty clean. Seem rather incessant today. We're going places, seeing friends, family, who knows, business. Scoops of soap there. Look at the lower sections here. GT350 striking, GT350H that is. And as I mentioned before, always aim away from the brake duct. It's just my methodology. I'm sure everybody else has their own. And that is that. We will get to the back of this. There we have the back. I was bad. For a whole year during COVID, I basically did nothing to renew the sticker on this car. When I went to the Secretary of State, I came to learn that my custom plate Hertz, it was no longer, it had expired. The whole plate had expired, not just the sticker registration. And so I had to buy it back again. Unfortunately, it had not been taken. So I redeemed it. I redeemed myself. And ironically, they sent me another set of plates in the mail, so now I've got 2 of them. Now I got a set that I can display on the wall, as I'm known to do. She's a beauty. She's a beauty and a beast simultaneously. The flagship. Drip, drip, drip goes all the soap. Very clean though. The car stayed very clean. As I may have mentioned on prior showings, I use a snake type garden hose that expands when there's water projected through it, and then it contracts when the hose is turned off. So, very easy to deal with, because when it contracts, you shut it off, contracts, you just wrap it up, put it in the pail, bring it in the house, so you don't deal with frozen garden hoses over the year. And both backup lights work on this car, believe it or not. They've been known not to work if the lights burn out or wiring goes bad, but these are totally functional. That's a good thing. I know I didn't get the lower valence in the front, but I will take care of that, and I will end this video. And that's washing a GT350 Hertz rental, a red one from LAX. Take care. Now comes the drying. Since I do not yet have a leaf blower, I like to rake my own leaves with a rake. I'm just going to use microfiber towels and just try to absorb as much of the water as possible without any rubbing involved, or minimal at best. So just absorb the water. And I'll use several microfiber towels to do that, but my plan is to get a leaf blower. The consensus with car guys is that a leaf blower is a very effective method of removing water from your vehicle after it's been washed, and there's no rubbing involved. So I'm patting dry this thing. So this beauty, she probably didn't like me calling her a thing, this redheaded beauty. And I'll put another one on here. Just gently pat it down like so. Since I did this wash with the sun down, I don't have to worry about water spots. But I want to make sure that she's nice and dry before I retire her to the garage. I just wiped it a little bit, but what are you going to do? Until the leaf blower gets here. And it's okay, of course, to move on the windows. You're not going to damage them. Unless you got something embedded in the microfiber and you'll scratch your glass. So you should be very aware of that. That is a danger. But I keep my microfiber towels very clean, very presentable, so no danger of that. out. Down. I'll probably throw another shot of Rain-X on the glass because washing it and then wiping will remove the Rain-X properties from your windshield, so it's always good to throw another coat on. And we'll get the hood here. Absorb it, flip it over, absorb it on the other side until it's saturated, and then wring it out. Simple. That's a lot of water. They're very hydrodynamic. They like to absorb water. That's why they're so popular. And boy, is this therapeutic. Love washing a car, especially this kind of car. Not very many people in the world have that privilege. It'd be nice if they did, but it's definitely an honor to be washing and drying a 66 Hertz red and gold. Not an everyday occurrence. Put this out here. And as I mentioned, I was careful not to get any water in the grill here. Soak this up here. I would never recommend a power wash on any car because I believe that a power wash puts a lot of high pressure on the paint. Even if it's a power wash with a soap injected into it. I myself do not think that is good for the paint. I think it puts pressure on it and it could flake certain areas of paint that may be weak. And then you are in a world of hurt. So, not recommended, but to each their own. Here it's all nice and dry under there, which is good. And it's drying up fairly good. I'll bring out a couple more. Break out the green. My understanding is that trying to find a green Hertz for the macaque. Somebody opted out. So we may be just looking at a red Hertz and a couple of black ones. It's not like they're a commonplace car on this planet, so it's unfortunate the green one. I'd like to see a green Hertz. I've never seen one up close, only in pictures. But they had blue and gold, red and gold, like this one, and green and gold, and white and gold. A couple of white and gold ones floating around in this universe. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they also had early prototypes that were white with blue stripes and did not say GT350H on them. They just said GT350. Those were the prototypes that convinced Hertz to buy into it. I think they regretted the decision, but I certainly didn't regret their decision, or I wouldn't be having this conversation today. So, in my mind, they made the right choice. And it's drying up quite nicely. Quite nicely indeed. the atmosphere will certainly assist with evaporation. So, I mean, if I don't get it perfectly dry, smaller droplets will just fade away on their own. Just trying to avoid rubbing where possible. There we go. I will tend to the sides in a moment here. We will squeeze the water out. Two of them here. I'm sure they're relatively soaked. And they are. I'll get to the wheels afterward. The wheels are the last thing to clean. Just put a gentle spray on them. And I have a special little cleaner for the wheels to get into the nooks and crannies of them. And then a good little mag polish, probably Meguiar's mag polish. I'll get another jar of that and I'll shine up the aluminum. Get the aluminum polish, I guess is what it's called these days, not mag polish. You get the idea. Bring this out. And we'll bring the camera in a little bit closer. This is my zoom effect as best as I can. You'll notice the original Cobra Owners Club of America, Orange County, Cocoa. I kept that on there when the car was being restored. I just didn't have the heart to remove it. It's part of the car's history, so I tried to keep that intact. It's reminiscent of its California days. Who knows, maybe it'll be repatriated back to California one day, you never know. You never know what the future holds for anything. Or anyone. Life is stranger than fiction sometimes. Bring this out. And it's one day before Halloween, so a haunting we will go tomorrow evening. My favorite time of year, my favorite holiday. She's drying up quite nicely here. Rag is clean, indicative that there is no dirt left over. Get a little more here. It's starting to dry on its own. The remnants. It's not leaving any water spots. That's a good thing. Water spots are always the bane of my existence. And we'll take care of the back here. Man, those planes are flying low tonight. Seems to be a ton of them. They probably schedule them around this time when people are indoors having their dinner. They don't get me through the brick when I'm indoors, but outside, it's just another thing. They are loud. Must be flying about 5,000 feet up, at least. Maybe a little more. And she's drying up quite nicely. Little tip here when you're opening your gas cap to put your gas in. Do it gently. Let it gently down on there and don't try to work it in too fast. I worked it in fast one too many times and I chipped a little bit of paint there, so that's my no-no. I'm going to warn you in advance to avoid such pitfalls. I'll tell you about it. That's one of the pitfalls. Don't be in such a hurry. I'd also like to say, I forget back in the late 70s how I filled up my car with gas. There doesn't seem to be a shut-off for this car, so you have to really police your gas level as you're filling up. I listen to hear how the gas is filling up, and if I hear a different change in tone, I know that it's getting close to full. That's about the only way I can tell, otherwise it will fill right to the top and splash out at you. It'll shut off then, but by then it's too late. So you kind of have to listen to it closely as it's filling up. That's what I do. And or put the key in the ignition and turn it to accessories to see where your gas level is. Once it's full, leave it at that. Try to squeeze too much in, you'll overflow. You'll get it all over your clothes, your shoes, and so on. And be embarrassed at the gas pump, and so on and so forth. I don't know how I did it with the 69 coupe that I had. I don't remember. Well, back then they had full service. And I remember a guy would watch like several different cars. He'd have them all filling up at the same time, and he was really good. He would know instinctively when one of them was approaching full. He would go and fill it up, and then it would be it. He could juggle 2 or 3 cars at a time. A few guys were like that back in those days. I think it's a lost art, a lost skill, lost to the tides of time. And we will get over to the other side here. And we are still running. Bring it out. It's absorbing a lot of water. It's quite a beautiful day today. Trees are in full fall foliage. Good day for motoring. Toss this one here. I'll go to the next one. Full of water, look at that. I'm going to move the camera over a little bit here so you can see more of the body work. Bunch of geese flying overhead. They better not do you know what. Or it's shotgun time. Not that I own a shotgun, I don't, but I'd get them one way or the other. Canadian geese, they're my brethren, right? Canadian, eh? This one here. And there's ever so slight moisture condensation intrusion in the quarter window there. But I had these all redone with new rubber. They go bad, but I wanted new rubber because the other stuff was old, dry, hard, cracked. It wasn't any good anymore, so. Was it new old stock? No. Is it aftermarket? Yes. Sometimes you just have to capitulate to aftermarket. It's just no choice because the old stuff's no good. Oh, what did I see? I just saw, it looks like a 31 Ford go by. I haven't seen that in the neighborhood before. 31 or 32. Drying off here, not bad, not bad. Here's the front end here. Take it, this is stainless steel here. Metal. Back when cars were mostly made of metal. I don't see us returning to that anytime soon. Though we do have carbon fiber, but I take issue with carbon fiber because I don't really know how long that will last. Will that be around 50 years from now? Don't know. Leave that up to a chemist. Tell me. And I know I didn't get the lower valence here. I will get that afterward. I don't want to waste your time on the video here doing that small detail. So I will wash and dry that off. And that's pretty much it. That's my technique for washing and drying a GT350H. Red Hertz.